everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I just wanted to quickly go through all the books that I read in May. We are very much in June now. It's the 6th of June, but I haven't gotten around to filming this yet. So let's get straight into it. In May I managed to read 6 books, which for some people it's not a lot, but I had a really busy month with work and I was pretty happy with that. I didn't think I was even going to get to 4 at one point in May because there was about 10 days where I didn't read anything. So 6 was actually my goal and I reached it. I talked about that in my last vlog if you haven't seen that yet. Out of the 6 books that I read, none of them were physical books. I had 3 audiobooks and 3 Kindle books. 2 of the books I read were ARCs from NetGalley, and I'll tell you which ones they are when we get to them. But let's jump right into the 6 books that I read this month. So the first book that I read was an audiobook. I almost always have an audiobook on the go, and this one was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the Part of Your World series. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have been trying to fall in love with Abby Jimenez books for a while now, and it's just not been working for me. Every book I read from her is just average to me, which is kind of disappointing because so many of the other booktubers and bookstagrammers and stuff that I follow that have the same book taste as me love Abby Jimenez, and I just haven't found an Abby Jimenez book that I love. They've all been average. They've all been about 3 stars, and this one was no different. This one was a 3-star book for me. I enjoyed it to an extent, but I just wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the aspects of the book. Based on, I can't really remember, I do remember what the book was about, but I can't really remember how I was feeling when I was reading it. But based on the review I wrote, I am trying to write reviews on both Goodreads and Fable when I read books now, because by the time I get around to these wrap-ups I forget. It seems that the third act conflict was the biggest issue for me in the book. I wasn't a huge fan of the fake dating in this book. It was fine. I didn't have an issue with it. It didn't really make the most sense to me. And then on top of that, their communication skills between the female and the male main character, the communication skills were horrendous, and the conflict in the third act was just so avoidable in my opinion. I don't think it was necessary. They had such a rocky time getting together. I don't think they needed the conflict in the end. So I gave that one 3 stars. While I was listening to that one, I was also reading Wildside by Elsie Silver. This was the 3rd book in the Rose Hill series. Again, this series just hasn't really been it for me. I love Elsie Silver and I have enjoyed a lot of the books. I just haven't loved any of them. This one I think was my highest rated out of the series. It was a 3.5 star. The third act conflict in this one I actually didn't mind at all. Usually I hate it always, but it was like, it made sense and it was resolved quite easily. There were some elements of this one I didn't love, and for some reason the spicy scenes in this just did not like. I was skipping over them, and that was why it wasn't 4 stars for me, because there were chunks of it that I was skipping, so I couldn't possibly give it 4 stars. Then I listened to an e-arc from NetGalley which was called Brighter Than Before by Courtney Walsh, and I've never heard of this author before and I absolutely loved this book. This was, I think, my favourite book of the month. I rated it 4 stars. It is about a woman who gets a divorce from her husband. She's a little bit older and she's like trying to find herself again. She's got a grown-up child. She moves cities and is trying to make new friends and find a new life for herself. And it was really refreshing to have a main character be just that little bit older and having different life issues than a younger character. My favourite part of this was her personal growth. It is like a romance book, but it's more of a women's fiction in my opinion, because it was more so you're more connected to her as a character and her character development rather than her and the love interest. Like a big chunk of the book is her trying to date again, but it's more so how she's growing through that you connect with rather than the actual love interests that come and go. I actually highly recommend this book. I'm not entirely sure when it's coming out. Let me see if I can see. Oh, the 8th of June, so it's being released really soon. I would highly recommend this book if you're on the lookout for a new book this month. Then I finally got around to the 4th book in the Rose Hill series, Wild Card. The first 60% of this book I was actually really enjoying it. I thought that it was going to be as good as the 3rd book in my opinion. I thought I was going to rate it as highly, and then the last 40% just lost me. The female main character made some questionable decisions, and the more I thought about it, the relationship between the male and the female main character was just gross, and I just couldn't get behind it. I did rate it 3 stars. I think I was probably being a bit generous just because I like Elsie Silver, and I think I was just grateful to be finished with this series. But their relationship was not really okay, and even if that was going to be the relationship of the book, I feel like they could have and should have went about it in a more respectful way. If you don't know this book, it is the male main character finds out he has a son, and the female main character is that son's girlfriend, soon becomes ex-girlfriend, and then they obviously spark up a relationship. Now, they did meet first, which is what they keep coming back to. The male main character keeps saying, well, I saw her first, type of thing, because they did meet before she got with the son unknowingly, but it just didn't do it for me. I just didn't really like the trope. It wouldn't be a trope that I would be a fan of. Son's ex-girlfriend slash ex-boyfriend's dad is just not a trope I think I can get behind at all. So that one was 3 stars. Probably should have been like 2.75 if I'm being brutally honest. Then I picked up an audiobook from NetGalley. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this book because, if I'm being honest, I rated it 1 star and I absolutely hated it. It's a debut novel by L.M. Francis. It's called The Book of Girl. I did write a review on Goodreads and Fable if you want to go read that. They'll be linked below. I felt bad at the time writing the review because on Goodreads the book did only have 2 reviews when I wrote mine. There are a lot more reviews on it now, and a lot of the reviews are similar to mine. The book was a tough read. It was really hard to tell whether it was pro or against some things that it talked about, and there was just such random things came up. And I want to be very respectful here because it is their first novel and I understand that, but I have to be honest too. There are aspects of the writing that I think show promise and potential, but this book just did not do it for me, and I did rate it 1 star. And then the last book I picked up, which I was reading in my previous vlog, and it is the book that got me to the 6 books in May. It is Woke Up Like This by Amy Lee, or Amy Leah. You will see me struggling to say her name in the vlog as well. Still haven't looked up how to say it, but we move. This is a YA book and I absolutely loved it. I picked it up on Kindle, but the great part about this one is the edition it was also came with an Audible file, so I could switch between Kindle and audiobook, which was really helpful for me to get to my goal of 6 books in May. I kind of picked this book up in a limb because I was looking for a book that, 1, wasn't part of a series that I was already reading, and 2, wasn't going to become a series even if it was currently just 1 book. I just wanted a standalone easy read, and that's exactly what this was. This book is so good. I absolutely loved it. If you love 90s noughties rom-coms, films like 13 Going on 30, 17 Again, even films like She's the Man, or just those classic rom-com-y films, you will love this book as well. Now, it is a YA book, so obviously it's not going to be heavy on the romance or anything like that, which I was very happy with. It was really refreshing to read about a couple and kind of get to know them and their relationship with actual connection. They are teenagers at the end of the day, so it's not exactly a true romance novel or anything, but they do jump forward 13 years in time and they wake up when they're both 30, and it's just a whole kind of trying to get back to the past, trying to figure out, trying to stop things from happening, and then kind of realizing that they should have happened and it was right and good that they did happen. I rated this book 3.75 stars. It was definitely a 4-star read for me, minus some of the things that they found out I just felt they didn't deal with appropriately, or they didn't react to as emotionally as you would expect, and that just brought it down that little tiny bit for me. But it was a fantastic book and I would definitely recommend this one as well. I enjoyed this one probably just as much as Brighter Than Before. I was just a little bit harsher on this one, I think, maybe. Those were the 6 books I read in May. My Goodreads and Fable are linked below if you want to follow me on there or have a look at some of the reviews I wrote for these books if you want a little bit more detail about how I felt about them. But from this list, if you are looking for a book to pick up in June, I highly recommend Brighter Than Before. It's brand new. It's coming out in like 2 days time. So definitely have a look into that one. And Woke Up Like This. Now that one's been out for a couple of years now, so you might have read it already. I've never seen anybody talk about it before, but I don't really follow too many people who read YA, so maybe that's why. It's a super easy read and you will be kind of brought into the story, and I hope that if you take one of those recommendations that you enjoy, do let me know if you decide to pick up either of those books. We're now a good bit into June and I have not finished a book yet. I am reading a book right now. I'm reading another arc from NetGalley. I'm reading Glow Job. I'm not too far into it. I'm exactly 50% of the way into it. So I'm halfway in. I'd like to get that finished this weekend. But I'm not doing too well on June's goal. So my goal for summer is to hopefully read 6 books a month at least. So I need to get cracking if I want to reach that in June. But thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more from me, do hit that subscribe button and I will see you in the next one.